Hello guys, this is Rak here, and yes, I'm alive. I'm sorry I couldn't post any videos last week because, contrary to most people, I've been working a lot during this whole epidemic and lockdown thing, and only this weekend my workload is getting to normal levels, so I thought I would sit down and do some MechWarrior and, edit my footage, and here we are with the Nightstar. I'm gonna make this video about the Nightstar. It's a request from one of my viewers, AZK. Hello AZK, thanks to you. I've been trying to come up with a decent build for this thing, and afterwards decent footage, which was, I have to say, a bit of a challenge for me, but we'll get to that later. So Nightstar, it's a 75 ton climber mech. As you may all know, it was very popular when it came out because it could do the laser vomit thing very efficiently. It has jump jets, it has high mounts, it can do gauss vomit build with 2 gauss, large pulse, ER, mediums, very easily, and it was very popular. But I wasn't really interested in this thing back then, because despite having so much tonnage for weaponry, it pays for it dearly in the mobility department. And I'm not just talking about speed, I'm also talking about responsiveness. This mech is far from responsive. It's quite sluggish actually, and it's hard to do precise aiming with it. You have limited torso movement from horizontally, so, and also in the pitch axis too, and it's sluggish, so it's hard to track targets properly. It's just feels a bit annoying to use to me. Some people swear by this mech, and I understand them, and we will get to that later on. But for me, the feeling is just not there for this mech. But I've been trying to love it. I've been trying this mech, as I said, coming up with decent builds for it. And one of the most common builds is dual gauss, which I have footage of in my channel. It's actually should be recent. I think in the last 3 months I had a footage about it. So I didn't try that build. What I tried was, I went all in on Ballistic. So because this mech has so much tonnage for weaponry, but you don't have many hardpoints, so it kind of forces you to put big weaponry in. So you're trying to make use of those hardpoints by placing big ballistics, big energy, big missiles, and try to use that tonnage efficiently. Now this is kind of a quirky build. I got quad LBX on this, and it actually feels decent in this mech, especially when your opponents have open torsos, or when they're close enough where you can, all of those LBX5s can converge in one location, because you're doing 20 damage every 2 seconds, so it's pretty decent amount of DPS. But positioning properly in this mech is definitely a challenge, and you will often be left behind and you will not be able to keep up with the Nightstar. So as I said, it feels like an assault in that regard. Assault firepower, but also assault mobility problems, basically. Now this guy is open everywhere and it just dies in 2 shots. That's what LBX does to you with extra crit damage. And now we are waiting them to turn the corner. This guy turns the corner with LRM-20s. Interestingly, I would not suggest doing that. In terms of builds, oh, we critted my ECM actually. Decent one. In terms of which variant to use, you should definitely aim for the ECM variant, because as I said, it's slow, but ECM helps you a ton, because you will be shot at less if you use ECM. Once you don't have that Burrito, oh my god, now I'm behind these guys, and it feels just so good to blast them in 2 or 3 shots when they have open components. As I said, ECM is, I think, a must. Not because you get less aggro from enemy pugs, but also because this mech is quite squishy in my opinion for being a 75 ton. It's a clam mech, so it's, as most of them doesn't get any armor or structure quirks, this one also doesn't get any, and it actually doesn't need any anyway, but this means that you can't tank a lot. You're slow, you're sluggish, and you're a big target. So ECM helps you a lot in keeping you from getting focused by the whole enemy team. So there are a lot of stuff that has to go right for you to do well in a match, especially in a public match in these days where it's all about NASCAR and it steamrolls very quickly before you have any chance to affect the outcome. But thankfully this was one of those matches where the enemy kind of circled around the middle, around the citadel, and I just kept myself in the middle. I had the high ground and we ambushed a few of them. 4 kills, 800 damage. It was a nice one. But yeah, that build is decent, but it's not a it's kind of a specialized build. Now this build is definitely more popular. It's one of the standard builds for this mech. Most people will either use this or the dual gauss one. So I opted to use this thing and see how it does for myself. Well, I should be able to do more damage in this because Ultra ACs, more burst damage. You just have to roll the dice and pray that it doesn't jam. But we have ECM and quad AC Ultra AC5, and well, it's just free damage most of the time because they will just ignore you because you have ECM.
New target acquired.
You just have to deal with all the jams. Now that Wolverine is pretty much dead, so I left him alone. Oh no, he didn't die. No. Okay, now he's dead. But we have, what's that? Charger. And he's late, and we're just farming him. He's shooting at me, but he can't really see anything. And the DPS of this build is pretty awesome. I didn't get the kill shot, but still this build feels good. But you gotta put yourself in a decent position to make use of all of your weapons. And as I said, this is one of the problems with this mech. The mobility is so poor that you are most often not in the position to be able to use your weapons efficiently. So you're mostly either getting there or you're just chasing them. Or if you're in a position, you risk being overrun, so you have to move again, like I am here. The enemy are pushing my right flank. I gotta react to that. Think of coming around, but we basically divided them. We have some on the left side, some on the right side. I'm a bit indecisive here, but I decided to join the right flank and help them clear this flank. We got a Ebon Jack. Well, he's very out of position and very hurt. He goes down very quickly. We have a Shadowhawk. And yeah, and a Cougar. One of the bad things about this build is, well, most of the Nightstar builds are, you have to stare at your enemy, so there is no time to twist and spread the damage. But I think the hitboxes of this mech are pretty decent. Even though it's squishy, it's easy to spread damage even if you're not, actively working for it. The hitboxes are just balanced. We killed the Cougar finally. Now we got to get to the other half, but well, they're coming to us instead. And as I said, the burst damage is good. You just have to pray that it doesn't jam. And the heat is also nice on this mech. It's called Ultra ACs. You can't sustain fire for so long. I've been shooting non-stop for almost 2 minutes now. Cataphracts comes back. The seat is open. Let's just finish it. And we're done. Again, a small map where there wasn't much movement And this is where this mech shines, where you can, you know, keep the enemy in front of you and not get much aggro while you farm them. And it does okay. Now this is a much more aggressive build. Dual Ultra AC 20, 3 medium pulses. The DPS is definitely there, but we are seriously lacking in range. So what do we do on this map? Well, obviously I will try to go for the tunnel and be at the front, but not at the tip. You can't be at the tip with the Nightstar. You gotta be a second line mech. Let others tank for you, but you can't also be very far from the front line, otherwise you won't be able to keep up and do damage. You will either get caught by, you know, the enemy's advance, or you will just be left behind and do no damage. So you gotta have a very nice balance with this thing. And it's one of the challenges of using this mech, as I said. The positioning, the lack of mobility forces you to position very well, and sometimes positioning comes down to just luck, you know, just being in the right place at the right time, and hope that you don't get overrun. I'm hoping an enemy will push from the tunnel, please. But so far nothing, but I'll just sit here. I'm okay with this. I got the firepower to keep the tunnel, but with this build you gotta watch out. You have dual Ultra 20s and they do have ghost heat, so if you fire them together they will ghost heat, and we definitely don't want to do that. So I saw fire coming from the enemy side. I can't use my left side, so we will keep working with the right side, so we will keep working with the left side. I'm waiting for a friendly to push in front of me, so this Mad Cat will hopefully get aggro from me. But no, I can't shoot because he's blocking my shots, and now I'm in the front line, and Mad Cat switches to me instantly. As I said, you gotta manage your Mad aggro. He's still firing at me, but he's down.
New target acquired.
And we take some okay damage. Okay, now we need to push out of the tunnel. We killed 2 of their assaults. The rest are outside the tunnel, pushing for our tail. Again, I'll let friendlies push out and take the aggro and catch this murder. The rest of the enemies don't seem to be aware that we're coming out. My DPS is just ridiculous at this range, and this build just feels amazing at this range. It's really fun. Got a Warhammer, hopefully it doesn't go down very quickly. And yes, careful aim for the city, and he goes down. We got a Highlander. His back was turned to me, and the Tracy 20 just murders him at that range. Warhammer trying to run, but no, this is a very decisive steamroll. Got a Kit Fox, constantly overheating, but it's worth it. Got a Thunderbolt, he's relatively untouched. But dual Tracy 20s, his front just melts, front armor just melts. This guy has no chance either, and now I'm very overheated, and I instantly stop overriding and shut down, and I'm just praying that I don't die here, or the game ends before I die. But yeah, we made it. We're still cooking, but we made it. So yeah, that's the end of my Nightstar journeys. I think it's a decent mech. But it's not really for my playstyle, but I still enjoyed playing this thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and I'll see you guys next time.